I'm sitting at my kitchen table as I tell this story, the same table where I've paid bills for most of my life. The wood is scratched and faded, one leg still shorter than the others. Folded paper stuffed beneath it so it doesn't wobble. Morning light comes in through the thin curtains, catching the dust in the air. The coffee in front of me has gone cold, but I don't mind. I've drunk enough cold coffee in my lifetime to know it doesn't hurt as much as remembering does. I am 72 years old, and there was a time, more years than I care to count, when I worked 2 jobs and still went to bed every night feeling like I had failed. People hear that sentence and think they know what it means. They imagine exhaustion, maybe stress, maybe a tight budget. But what they don't imagine is the quiet shame, the way it sits in your chest when you've done everything you were told was right, worked hard, showed up, didn't complain, and still came up short. This is my story, not because it's special, but because it's painfully common. I was born in 1953 in a small town in Ohio, the kind of town where everyone knew your name and your business. My father worked at a steel plant. My mother stayed home until my youngest brother started school, then cleaned houses on the side. We didn't have much, but we had rules. You work, you don't waste, and you don't expect handouts. My father used to say, if you work hard enough, you'll be fine. That sentence shaped my entire life. I believed in it the way some people believe in scripture. So when I graduated high school at 18 and married my high school sweetheart, I didn't dream of luxury. I dreamed of stability, a small house, a fridge that wasn't empty, kids who didn't worry about money the way we did. And for a while it worked. My husband worked construction. I stayed home with our 2 children until they were both in school, then took a job as a cashier at a grocery store. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. I was proud of that uniform, proud to bring home a paycheck. Then life did what it does best. It broke us slowly. My husband got hurt on the job when our youngest was 10. A back injury. Workers' comp helped for a while, but not enough. He couldn't do the same kind of work anymore. He tried desk jobs, light-duty odd work. Nothing stuck. So I picked up more hours, then more, then a second job. By the time I was 45, I worked mornings at the grocery store and nights cleaning offices downtown. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. and didn't sit down until after 10 at night. I ate standing up, slept in pieces, lived on coffee and aspirin. I told myself it was temporary. It wasn't. Bills don't care how tired you are. There is a kind of stress that doesn't shout. It whispers. It whispers when you stand in the cereal aisle, calculating ounces per dollar. It whispers when you leave clothes on the rack because the electric bill is due. It whispers when your child asks for something small and you say, maybe later, knowing later won't come. I learned how to smile while panicking inside. I learned how to laugh at jokes while thinking about overdraft fees. I learned how to pretend I wasn't scared. At night, when the house was quiet, I sat at this same table with envelopes spread out like accusations. Rent, gas, groceries, medical bills. I paid what I could and pushed the rest forward, like a wave that never stopped chasing me. One night, after cleaning offices until nearly midnight, I came home and sat on the floor because I was too tired to stand. I remember leaning against the couch, my uniform still on, and crying, not loud, not dramatic, just tears sliding down my face while I stared at nothing. I had done everything right, so why did it feel like I was drowning? That was the first time the thought crossed my mind. What if this is all there is? People think failure looks like giving up. But for people like me, failure looks like showing up anyway. It looks like clocking in when your body begs you not to. It looks like packing lunches while your hands ache. It looks like smiling at customers who don't see you. I didn't feel like a failure because I stopped trying. I felt like a failure because I never stopped and still couldn't get ahead. The hardest part wasn't the money. It was my kids. I missed school plays. I missed bedtime stories. I missed moments I'll never get back. I told myself I was doing it for them, and that was true. But knowing that didn't erase the guilt when I saw disappointment flash across their faces before they hid it to protect me. Kids understand more than we think. One night my daughter said, "Mom, you work too much." I laughed and said, "That's how we get by." She didn't laugh. She said, "I'd rather have you." That sentence still lives in my bones. By the time I turned 60, my body was done negotiating. My knees screamed. My back locked up. My hands shook from arthritis. But retirement was a fantasy. I kept working because stopping felt like falling off a cliff. I watched people my age travel, garden, enjoy grandchildren. I calculated prescriptions. I didn't stop working because I was ready. I stopped because I couldn't stand without pain. The grocery store threw me a small farewell party. Cake, balloons, polite applause. Someone said, "You earned this." I smiled, but inside I thought, what exactly did I earn? My kids are grown now. They turned out good, kind, hardworking, loving. That is my greatest achievement, even if it cost more than I expected. I live alone. The house is quiet, sometimes too quiet. I still budget, still worry, still feel that old reflex of panic when bills arrive, even though I manage. And sometimes, if I'm honest, I still feel like I failed. Not because I didn't work hard, but because the world told me hard work would be enough. If you're reading this and you feel that same quiet shame, hear me. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You did not fail. You were strong in a system that demanded strength and offered very little mercy. I worked 2 jobs. I gave my body. I gave my time. I gave my youth. And while I may not have gotten rich or rested easy, I gave everything I had. Now, sitting at this table with the morning light on my hands, I understand something I didn't back then. Worth is not measured by comfort. Failure is not measured by exhaustion. And survival, especially quiet survival, is not shameful. I didn't fail. I endured. And sometimes, in a world like this, that is the bravest thing a person can do.